recorded though. I'm rewatching it and I'm in the comments, so I'm replying to you. This just allows me to do it knowing that I won't have kids interrupting. So, although they'll still interrupt, and so who knows. Anyway, so I wanted to discuss something pretty important, which is the idea that you can't use your business to create your sense of self-worth, which is what a lot of people do when they create their business, right? It's whether it's intentional or unintentional, something gets attached to the idea that if you create something and you sell it, whatever this result is proves that it was an idea, proves that it was worth it. People use the validation of the business to justify validating their self-worth, which is challenging, and I understand it. It's a proving energy, right? It's like if you've opted out of traditional reality or traditional having a job or whatever, there's this idea that you have to prove it. I mean, you have to prove it to your bank account, right? But it can get very mixed up. It can create this ball of not just proving it to your bank account, but proving it to yourself, proving it to other people, proving that the idea itself is good, proving that you can have an idea. But this doesn't work for a number of reasons. I mean, let's look at it just from a business perspective. You have no way of knowing which piece you're proving to make it all work, right? Like, let's say you have the best offer in the world, but you don't know how to sell it. Then if it doesn't sell, like you can't tie all the things together because there's so many variables, and yet people do. And so without diving in onto all the reasons or all the combinations, permutations of how these things get tied together, let's look at the worst case of tying them together, which is if things aren't working, then you feel like you are not working. You feel like you are doing things wrong. And then it causes a downward spiral that pulls you out of flow and pulls you out of alignment. And so now you're so busy focused on what's not working and what you must be doing wrong that you're out of flow, out of alignment, out of inspiration, which means you're no longer even able to access the clarity, the downloads, the ideas that are going to help you tweak it. If this is the thing, like if this is the right thing, you still have to be able to be in the flow to access the things that help you sell it. If the thing is the right thing. If it's not the right thing and you've attached all of this stuff to it, then you're out of the space where you'll even be able to download the information that you need for what the right thing is. If you can catch this visual, it's like, if there's, I think of it as like this slipstream of the universe, or in Finding Nemo, what is the current, right? If we're in the current, we're flowing, and that's where we want to be, that's where we can be. That's like the best place to be in business. When your business works, when your life works, you're in this current, you're in the slipstream, and it's awesome. But if you get out of it, I'm not gonna say you're gonna get eaten by a shark, but you're like scared you're going to. There's suddenly, you're in a riptide. I don't know. I should study the ocean before I talk about slipstreams. Anyway, it's, when you're in it, when you're out of it, you're not. And in the case of, if we're moving out of the ocean and just into the collective consciousness slipstream, if you're not in it, everything feels harder. This is life, this is business, this is everything. So if it feels harder, it just feels like it's a machine, like cogs in a wheel, cogs, whatever, there's mud in it. It just feels hard and slow, and it feels like nothing's working. So when this happens, this is usually a result of a proving energy, because if you have nothing to prove, then you shift, then you pivot, then you're not stuck in the mud, right? So what does that look like? That's a case-by-case thing, honestly, and that's probably a thing best answered privately or through mentorship. And oftentimes, where I'm feeling into it right now is that it's a case-by-case thing, and it's not for me to solve in this moment. For me right now, it's for me to bring awareness that a proving energy in your business, a proving energy around an offer, around lead generation, the moment that you're improving and you're focused on numbers, it doesn't work, because growth is about connection. It's about humanity. And while we add, and this is from somebody who I've literally created thousands and millions of dollars worth of sales via funnels and tech and all of that, Those are metrics that you use for a result. Those are for tracking. Those are metrics that you use. Like, let's say that you just created some random make money online scheme using, I don't know, e-commerce, right? Obviously, you still have to have a product. And if you're doing e-commerce, you require even more tech and expertise, right? But in that case, yes, it is straight numbers. But if you are a person and you're seeking to monetize your own wisdom skill yourself, if you're not within the slipstream of the universe, if you're sitting in the dark trying to grind along, staring at numbers and thinking that if this just works, you will have proven something, it will not work. So let me know if you have questions. And feel free to shoot me a message. I am accepting new mentorship and coaching clients where we talk life and business and all the things. And our next thing coming up, I'm very excited, is called Shift, which is, I mean, it's kind of a masterclass, but it's me telling stories about tiny shifts that have changed my life or the lives of clients. As we're shifting from, right now we're going between some of the more business related content and some of the life, because they have to integrate together or nothing works. So say hi to me. I'm happy that you're here watching.